Put that a little closer to the screen.
Tell me what you're talking about.
You've had an affair.
And she's like, yeah, I was almost kidnapped. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Working on our frown
adults.
lines and our potty mouths.
We get a call and it's like, the suspects are running.
Oh, show it to us. Show it to us.
If that doesn't say Christmas, I don't know what does. Oh, you're festive.
Okay, sorry. I got new ear pods because my puppy ate mine. So I've been without him for like 2 months, which has been great because guess who's listening to books again? My kid's like Paw Patrol, and I'm like, I can't. Someone is about to make out with the NHL player. Leave me alone. Is this like the tip of being a mom? You just gotta listen to your books.
I've seen so many funny videos about those books. It's like when mom's iPhone accidentally connects to the kitchen speaker.
Hey, ready? Hey, Elsie, are you good? Guess not.
Guess not. She's fine.
Hey, Hannah's
Are
joining.
you good in there?
Yeah.
All right, I'm with my girls. I'm gonna record my podcast. Let me know if you need me, okay?
First of all, we are all here.
Yeah, has this ever happened?
No.
I look homeless,
Mary-
but I'm here.
Hey,
And I
what's
have a
going on
sandwich.
with your hair, Mary? Like, that's fantastic.
It was kind of like a messy flat iron wave situation, and I parted it differently.
The algorithm did tell me that the side part is coming back, and I was like, we tried to tell you guys.
If they would just listen to their elders. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Out of the Group Chat podcast. We have something monumental. We are all here.
We all made it.
Hi, 3 listeners. I'm Brooke. This is Mary Kate. That's Hannah Fryer and Hannah Mo. We are excited to chat with you.
Great.
Yeah.
Great intro.
I'm excited about today.
Yes, we have. So I just pulled up our notes to see, and I noticed that right here it said group chat highlights. Hannah Mo, you need to tell us about going to jail.
Sorry, that was a terrible old lady laugh, but I forgot you to jail.
Yeah, so I didn't go to jail, but I did tour our jail, and apparently it hasn't had any substandard reports in 20 years, but that was still sketchy.
Is this like looking up your daycare options and being like, oh, a 5-star?
Tell
People
us why
do
you were
that.
there. Give us
Okay,
the backstory. Why were you there?
So I'm in a leadership group in town through the chamber, and every month we get together and one full day we learn about something new. So we're learning about like the law, like the court system, law system here in town. So we like met Judge Bianchi, and we met our judge and our
Are you name dropping
sheriff.
judges?
And well, there's only one.
Not sponsored.
If it gives me any good karma. I was a little worried. I went through the list of inmates and I was like, oh, definitely went to high school with some of those people. We didn't walk through that cell. We walked through a federal cell, so I don't even know those people. They're not listed on our regular inmate thing. We also ate lunch. They made us lunch. Awful.
I wouldn't expect it to be fine dining in the local
No, but I
penitentiary.
had like a couple people in class that were like, I don't know, it's like pretty good. I was like, that was the saltiest hamburger I've ever had in my life. But yeah, nowhere I'd like to go. Would not like to return there ever. So
Didn't you have to like ride in a cop car too?
oh, I did a ride along as well. That was cool. Did you know you can just like ask to do ride along? Since I've talked
Hold on. So I could just call up my brother-in-law and be like, hey, can I do a ride along?
you can do them with your sheriff's office, your police office, Texas Parks and Wildlife, like anybody.
What happened on the ride along? Anything
On our ride
exciting?
along- On our ride along, it was all fine and dandy. We did like a little traffic stop here and there, and then we get a call and it's like the suspects are running. What are their descriptions? Like it's like actually happening. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. And so I'm not interrupting, right? I'm like, I'm just gonna sit here and listen with my seatbelt on. I think that there's like been an accident, like 2 cars, and someone has done a hit and run. No, these dummies had gotten drunk, taken their car, hit a bunch of culverts in front of these houses, ruined their car, got out of the car, and ran. It was a male and a female in Christmas outfits and ran into the bushes. So it was eventful. And then my guy was like, hey, I know it wasn't like that much fun because you had to sit in the car for like the last hour and a half, which I did during the end. He goes, you should come back on Wednesday. Those are the days they give me all my calls. And I was like, okay, well, I can't do that because I'm touring the jail on Wednesday. Guess who I ran into at the jail? My guy, Deputy Garcia. He was
Busy.
booking somebody.
Update.
He had arrested
State
somebody.
Trooper of Oklahoma says true, but no convicted felons.
That's what I said. I could never be a cop because I would know everybody's business. I would know everybody's. I would be the biggest gossip. Like we got a call to like someone was in someone's house that didn't have permission, but then the son was there and was like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, oh, I'd know everybody's business.
Okay, next thing on the list that I thought would be funny before we move on to another segment, we're going to do a quick recap of what our spouses got us for Christmas.
The nicest thing my husband got me for Christmas was after Christmas, he sent me a TikTok. I think it was Matt Reinhardt, and it was about how like the wife takes care of everything, and it's like the husband walks in and he's like taking 50% credit, and Damon, he was just like really kind, and he was like, you did a really good job with Christmas, and I love words of affirmation. And I was like, gosh, that was the best gift ever. But also JCPenney ring. So
I did get a really nice pair of like classic hoop earrings this year. So those were lovely. The one thing that is apparently like the ends of them are blunted, like so that I guess apparently you can't stab yourself while you're quote unquote stabbing yourself with your earring. One of my ear holes for putting my earrings in is like too small for the little like bulbed end. So like I've got to figure out if I can take it back to the jewelry store and have them like goes on.
Hannah, I've seen Parent Trap. All we need is a needle and an apple, and we'll fix that.
We'll just fix this under control. One
Whole
girl's
nice
trip, a
dude.
needle and an apple, and we have ears pierced problems.
Well, while you got
I-
beautiful jewelry, I got.
oh, show it to us. Show
I
it to us. Show it to
I
us.
think you and I are gonna.
It's in the other room. I got a Oklahoma State golf umbrella. Listen, let me preface. I honestly didn't have anything on my list. I didn't give him anything. I bought myself pots and pans. Like, it was really my fault. I needed a new golf umbrella because, like, we live in a place that rains like 65 inches a year, and you have to just have a golf umbrella when you're trying to get kids in and out. And we were fighting over one golf umbrella. So, like, we kept stealing it out of each other's vehicles, and then, like, one would get stranded without an umbrella. And so he bought me a new golf umbrella. Those are the things I love because he was taking care of me, making sure I had an umbrella. He's just thoughtful. And I didn't really give him anything. I didn't give him any ideas.
Y'all remind me to give my husband a list next year, pretty please. I think the highlight, I mean, I got these really, not the ones I'm wearing, but I got some cute Christina green, turquoise and gold earrings that I really like. But the big gift was he got me a gift certificate to get my windows tinted.
Woo!
Oh, sexy.
And get an
Yes.
eyebrow on my car.
Whoa.
So,
Nice.
I need new
Golden.
windshield wipers, and I for sure thought that's what I was going to get. But no, he took it up a notch. I have to ask about this on the list. Feral cows in New Mexico.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This is my favorite thing. I'm so excited. Okay.
and now
so
she has me Googling
yeah,
it. Now I'm Googling
Hannah
it.
Mo FaceTimes me last week, which we've already established FaceTime is my primary method of communication. If you're in my inner circle, like I just enjoy like I want to set my computer or like my phone up and just like do whatever I'm doing. And it's like we're hanging out. Anyway, she asked me what I was doing. I was working on a client project. I was like, this is like my favorite project, this very, very thing, because I always end up stumbling on an article about the feral cows. And Hannah Mo said, what are you talking about? Are you smoking crack? And I was like, no, dude, Google it. The feral cows. So listen to this, guys. In New Mexico, you know, they have like public land grazing. While some rancher had his cattle grazing on public land and then abandon them. You would think that, like, listen, there are bison, there are mountain goats, there are all kinds of creatures that are like in Yellowstone, right? Like there's so there's no way that these feral domestic cows are gonna, yeah, they're wreaking havoc.
Yeah, that was what got me. I
havoc.
was like, how are they feral? They're cows. Like, just round them up. Go get some horses. Get some helicopters.
No.
And I was like, can't be that big of a problem. Wrong. It's a big problem. They are disturbing hikers. They're ruining creek beds. They've ruined like fencing.
Yeah.
Like they are causing some serious issues.
So like how many head are we talking about?
I don't know, actually. They
don't
said
know.
that like they haven't been able, they were trying to like thermal image them to get a count, and then they can't tell the difference in size between certain animals. So I don't even know if they know.
I wonder, honestly, I haven't looked up to see where in New Mexico it is, but Mary Kate, I imagine that it can't be that different from where you are, where your family ranches in Arizona, that it's like can't be that many head of cattle per acre,
acre.
right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, our grazing capacity is it's like 1 cow per 10,000 acres.
10,000 acres.
10,000.
Definitely a different ball game. I got my skincare haul. Remember when I like messaged you guys the other day and was
Yep.
like,
Show us.
I'm
Are you
feeling
gonna
old.
show
I got
us?
all the things. Okay, so 2 things. Well, 3 things. First of all, Brooke, you actually wore these in our first episode, I think.
Those are the ones I
The-
You
have.
did. They're so good. They're
The
so good.
gold collagen eye things,
Oh.
eye patches. Then we have the Frownies facial patches because I'm gonna tell you, I'm terrified to get Botox. I am. I'm just scared.
I'm
And
get
so
it.
excited for this review.
Yes,
these
I
are the
wanna
ones
know.
that
All
it's
the
like
time.
you just basically put it on wherever every single night. And
I've had these in my saved cart in Amazon for months.
so there's 144 patches per box.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And you can use them between your this shape is for between the eyes or your forehead. And I think they have some that like are specifically for like right here. So we're gonna see. That's one thing I'm gonna have a review on. Then I don't know how I got on this side of TikTok, but apparently there is a trend, a beauty trend, and a health trend called mouth taping.
Mhm.
Has anyone heard
Oh,
of this?
I'm in the
Mhm.
middle of reading the book, Breath.
Okay,
It's
so
based off a
apparently
book.
my
us
brother-in-law's doing it.
our mouth breathers, we're ruining ourselves. We're killing
Yeah.
ourselves in our sleep.
Are you friends with Danielle and Daniel Hayden?
Mm-hmm.
I think so,
Do they
maybe.
do it?
So she has a post on her timeline. I'm about to go find it. No, we talked about this. We talked about this in Broken Bow. I pulled up pictures on the big TV where he started breathing correctly and all of a sudden he had a chiseled jaw, remember? And he did not start, he didn't change his diet or anything. All of a sudden he had like a book talk
But if you think
jawline.
about it, if
He
you're
did have a
sleeping
book dog
every
jawline.
like if you're spending half your day like going and like you're not gonna look great. It's not gonna end up well.
I want to know how that works.
Now,
I
my
like that
brother-in-law
idea.
literally had to stop at Walgreens because he was out of medical tape and he is taping like so that he doesn't snore. And he swears like it's totally helping.
They say it's hard, like
Love
the
that.
first like week or two, that like you'll feel free, like you won't keep it on all night. But then I haven't bought the mouth tape yet. I keep getting served ads for different kinds, but he said just some medical tape would work.
Guys, we used to drink apple cider moonshine from bathtubs in college.
And here we are, mouth taping.
Mouth
Putting on
taping,
frownies.
Would we be here if we took
brownies,
better care of ourselves?
magnesium baths.
Yes, we're
We
just
are
rubbing
so
ourselves
cool.
down.
I'm the only one with the excuse right now because I'm the oldest one here. So
Wait,
there's
aren't we
that.
all the same age right now for like another week?
No.
No, not Hannah Mo. She's a baby,
Need a one.
She's
right? This
little
is like
tiny
our 2 weeks, our 3 weeks where we're the same age.
I think
Yep.
so. I've got to remember how old I am. How old am I?
I think you turned 37 in September.
Yes, you are right. Thank you. How old am I? Which birthday is it?
I'm curious though, Mary Kate, my sister keeps sending me these girls that like massage their faces. Like she's sending me all of it. Where
Mary
it's like,
told us about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
remember I got that
but-
crazy facial. I think it's
Yeah, but
supposed to work if you keep doing it. Like you have to
Yeah.
keep doing it.
so these girls do it at home every single day. And I'm like, do I give up my Botox situation that I do twice a year, 3 times a year, and try massaging my face instead? Probably.
Guys, I did Botox
Listen,
one
money.
time and my husband knew immediately and was like, "What did you do to your face?" I was like, Nothing. Hasn't even said anything."
I thought it looked completely normal. And I've
Thank
done it
you.
I've done it a fair amount along with the fillers and like other stuff. And like I've just kind of stopped and I just go straight to my esthetician now. But I would love to know about the frownies for right there for the what did you
The
call it? The
11s.
11s? Yeah.
Yeah.
I call yeah,
My
those
face
right
gives a
there.
lot
I really
away.
only have a one. I don't have
Speaking of self-care, this is where I have to leave you guys. My therapy session got moved to 2 o'clock today. So
oh.
I'll go to therapy. You guys go to therapy. Have a great day.
Bye.
Okay, so speaking of therapy, I had on here the concept of notify anyway, because as we all know, this is like the true measure of who your best people are, is when you try to send them a text message and at the bottom it'll say like Hannah has silenced notifications, but right underneath that it'll say notify anyways. And I'm like, heck yeah, I don't care about your boundaries. You will get my message. And it does like the little pop and wobble.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not only do I want to disturb you, I want to be annoying about it. I was like,
Notify anyway.
I do it to
notify
my
anyway.
siblings. I do it to my siblings pretty regularly. My sister keeps her phone. First off, my sister like never has her phone on her, which is so weird to me.
That's a strange concept.
I don't hate it, but I couldn't do that. And then when she does have it, I feel like it's on do not disturb, so I always hit notify. I don't care. I hit it every time.
I have to be honest. After the last iOS update, or maybe 2 updates, I cannot figure out all the ins and outs of the new do not disturb focus. Like I liked when you could just toggle do not disturb and that was it. And that's all you had to do. And now it's like you have to set a time when it starts and what can happen and what apps can access you. And it's like, it makes me so overwhelmed that I just turn it on silent and hope for the best.
I still use do not disturb. Like if I'm gonna come home and take a nap, or like if I'm doing like I'm in a meeting or something, I'll put it on do not disturb. My siblings, like anybody on my favorites list, their text will still come through, but it doesn't make a noise. But it still pops up. Otherwise, I don't get any notifications when it's in do not disturb. My phone automatically goes into do not disturb at like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to say is I'm old and I don't know how to set it up.
See, and like with ADHD, I love it because like I have my like certain things that I do each week, and like I want levels of do not disturb, and like I have so like I'm Catholic, I go to adoration once a week, like that's my lockdown do not disturb. So like it knows on Tuesdays from 9 to 10, like I don't even get the number notifications. There's no interrupting me in any way unless someone notifies me anyway. And then but other times, like I said, I have it set up where at night like mine automatically goes like into do not disturb at 9 o'clock and doesn't come back on until 7:30, so that like I am focused on what I'm supposed to be doing, but I can open my phone and see there's notifications.
I have something that's not on the list. I think I like mentioned it last time. So one of my friends out of the blue like was Snapchatting me and said she was going concealed carry shopping. And I was like, "Oh, what are you going to like get or whatever?" And she goes, "Oh, did I tell you what happened?" And I was like, "No." And I'm not going to say her name and I'm not going to say the town that it happened in. Those were the two things she asked me not to say. And she was like, "Yeah, I was almost kidnapped." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" She was getting her hair done in the middle of a small town. Like I'll tell you on the group chat, but small town USA, because the investigation is ongoing, getting her hair done. And a guy off the street came in and like started causing some chaos, and her and the hairstylist were the only two in there. This hairstylist had just opened. This was like a new location, so she'd only been open like 2 weeks. The hairstylist had her gun in her purse, but it was like behind the counter. And anyway, so the guy starts causing chaos. Well, they go to like run to get out, and the guy tackles my friend. The hairstylist grabbed her. They run. Well, in all of the like they have to run from him. They run. Everything's closed because it's like a morning. She's like in foils, has her hair foiled, running down the street. All the other shops aren't open yet because it was early. They finally run like through a warehouse and down 2 blocks, and there's a hardware store that's open. And so they get in the hardware store, and the guys like lock the doors, and they're like, "What's going on?" They help them. They call the cops, and that guy was hiding in the warehouse that they had just run through and said that he was intent on hurting my specific friend. He was like, the blonde one, I was going to hurt her. So this guy like was already out on bond, now is being arrested for aggravated assault, attempted kidnapping, like all kinds of stuff. But she was like, I'm telling people, and she's, once the investigation's over, she's gonna like tell her story, but she's waiting because she said, one, I never thought that could happen to me. Two, like she didn't know, so she tried to set her car alarm off, like 'cause she had her keys.
Uh-huh.
Do you know how to set your car alarm off? Do any of you?
No.
So she kept pushing the button, and you can't just push it, it's a long hold. You have to like hold the button to make the alarm go off. So she didn't know how to set off her car alarm, so they couldn't get the car alarm on. Her phone had been on her lap, and like when they got up, it fell. Like just anyway, so just being super cautious. So since then, but now all the girls got the birdies. I should have brought mine in.
Oh, yes.
Pull them, and it makes like the really loud siren
Horrible.
noise. And so yeah, you just don't hear about,
Oh.
like, it's just when it's somebody, like, you hear those stories, but then when it's someone you know, you're like,
Holy moly.
what? I'm telling that story so that everyone is just prepared and thoughtful. And I got my birdie, my mom got me one, and I like tested it to see how it worked. And
That's wild.
I wanted to tell that story, and I want everyone to be hyper vigilant, and maybe we'll link the birdies so people can find them.
Yeah.
In the show notes.
I'll send them
Not
in.
affiliated, not an advertisement, just
No, just
please just be
arm
safe.
yourself.
I feel like
Off-label
the
usage.
mood like so far down, but
Okay, I have something on here that we can kind of jump off from, but we're about to have a new year. And this is like a tradition that a lot of people do, but you pick a word for the new year. So I want to know what your word of the year or your phrase of the year for 2024 is. Does anybody have one, or do you want me to start?
Oh, I don't know. It just feels painful. Do you have one, Hannah?
no, I've done this almost every year, and I've been debating on doing it again. I want to have like a little girls' night where we build like vision boards or vision journal or something, but I don't know.
Acceptance keeps coming up for me.
I like that.
I don't
Good.
know, like it's the one that keeps like rolling in my head. I
I
don't
think
know.
you kind of have to go with what you feel, because that's one year I like something kept kind of popping up, and I didn't go with it. I went with something else, and then I was like, no, that was supposed to be my word. So I think that's what you do. All right, Mary Kate, what's your word?
Intention.
That's a good one.
Just like, in your work, in your friendships, your
I like
time with
that.
your kids, your spouse. Like, I just feel like, I don't know, so often we're just doing things to do things. That's kind of where I was going with that.
Yeah, I like that.
So the other thing I was going to tell you, this kind of jumps off from intention, my word of the year, but Brooke and I were going, since she's not here, I'm just going to step in, because normally we have an ad sponsor. We have a podcast sponsor. And so since Brooke's not here, I'm going to take this spot.
There you go.
I'm going to do my ad copy. But it's really not ad copy. It's kind of a TED Talk. I was thinking about this, and I was like, kind of goes with my word of the year. As a designer, the amount of times I am told someday, one day, when I build my dream house, I'm going to hire you to design it. And I just kept like ruminating on that. I love that word. Ruminating on it, because it's like, what if someday doesn't come? What if plans change? What if circumstances change? Like, then what? Are we just constantly like pushing off our dreams, and like we're not allowed to have that dream because you're waiting for someday? And I feel like we just have this culture of like big steps and next chapters and new moves. And so it's like, how do we make our homes that we're in today? Because honestly, for a lot of people, and we talk about mortgage rates all the time in our group chat, sometimes our 2% mortgages are going to leave our today homes more long-term than we. So I'm kind of on this like mission of helping people make their today homes the dream, because honestly, I think of it as a house is more than fixtures and finishes and square footage. It's like, how do you want to feel in that house? How do you want other people to feel in that house? Like, what songs are you going to be listening to in the kitchen when you're making grandma's recipes? And like, there's so much more to a home than that. So I'm kind of on a mission for that. If that sounds like your
I
jam,
think
I'll
give your handles so people can go right
oh
now.
yeah. So you can find me
Yes.
on Instagram at Mary Kate Pedigo or my website, sawarowest.com. Yes, like the cactus. And I have a lot of great resources. Right now, I have my home wellness checklist to kind of go through and get your house in gear for 2024 and
Love it.
consultations and bigger design projects, all kind of fun stuff. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Love it. And also
I
your Instagram is a fun place to follow.
yeah.
Like I like seeing the stories and your TikTok.
Thank you.
I feel like that's gonna hit home so much more now. Like y'all have heard me, right? Like I sold my house that I bought. We sold it when we got together and moved into this little house, 900 square feet, because we didn't think we were gonna be here that long. We were like, oh, we'll move into this one, pay it off because it'd be a great rental home. It's across the street from his parents, which is waterfront. So we'll never let go of this house. We'll just rent it and it'll bring us income. Well, now we have a 1.9% locked in mortgage.
Yeah.
I mean, mortgages have dropped, at least in Texas. They've gone from, 8 back down to 7. I think we'll see them drop a point or two, but you're not going to see them like you did before. You're
No.
just not until after the elections, I think. But that is something. Like I sometimes get so frustrated in this house because I don't feel like it's mine. Like it still doesn't feel
Your
like it's
temporary space.
yeah, and we've been treating it like a temporary space because I think that's been the mindset. Oh, we're gonna move to something else. So like recently I just bought, there's a piece right behind me that goes under our TV. I've gone through 3, I think y'all have been on this saga. I've gone through 3 pieces there to find this one that's finally perfect. But that little thing like brought me so much joy.
But
I
you
know,
hit it on the head. Stop treating it like it's temporary.
yeah,
So many people are just like, it's just this hodgepodge of stuff and we're only going to be here for so, and it's like, but what if you aren't?
well, and even if it is temporary, don't you still want it to feel like home?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my temporary has gone from I wasn't even pregnant to now I have an almost 2-year-old. So I think
Yeah.
about that a lot, Mary Kate, and I'm not good at that stuff. I think I sent y'all like so many TV
It's part of
consoles
the group chat. Well,
and so many sofas.
the one
So
I
many
think about, and like she's not here to chime in, but I'm gonna give Brooke some kudos, like without her being here. But I think about her house. Like when she moved in, no offense, Damon, it wasn't a great house. Total bachelor pad.
Turns
But
out.
she knew that that's where they needed to be in
Mhm.
this season of life, especially with his job. So she really just dug in and made it a home and brought out the character. And, yes, they did some renovations, but it wasn't anything, it
Nothing
wasn't like
major.
a $50,000 kitchen reno. I mean, they did work on it, but it wasn't crazy over the top. And she's worked really hard to make it feel home and cozy. And
It's
that's their spot for right now.
and it's a total vibe. I mean, going into her home, you absolutely feel like it's very like the lines are clean, everything looks, there's a theme to the whole home. Like it's
Yeah.
not, even though they've done renovations and things like that, it's not no space was missed
Yeah. It's
in
got her
getting them
stamp on it for
refreshed.
sure.
Yes.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Damon, threw me under the bus when I told y'all that I cleaned my whole house after Christmas. I had put all my Christmas decorations up, gone through all my kids' stuff, put everything up, packed it up. And he was like, y'all gonna talk about that on the podcast? I'm like, listen, if that's my OCD acting up, that was my day off. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this, my cleaning lady got here today because I do have a cleaning lady who makes my life 100 times better. And she goes, wow, you have been really busy the past couple days because your house is very clean. And I was like, I had a day off and my kid was at daycare. I can get a lot done.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot of days off. And on those days off, my kid is usually with me.
Yeah.
So nothing gets
That is
done.
the kicker.
But
There's
I
no
loved, what did I text you the other day? I asked if I could borrow Reed and his little Montessori cleaning habits.
Yes.
Pick it up,
He's
put it
still
where it
very
goes.
good about putting stuff in the trash and wiping things down. But like, even he's gotten good about putting toys back in bags if he's like not exhausted. But there are some things, like the other day he had something and I was like, hey buddy, can you pick that up? And he looked at me and he goes, and I was like, oh,
So that's how we're going to be today.
we're gonna do
Yeah.
that. All right, you're choosing violence. Great. Just dropped it right in front of me. And I was like,
But that's like toddlers though. It's a 50-50 chance they're going to choose violence.
we keep talking about like maybe how, or everyone asks, right? When are you gonna have your next one? When are you gonna have your next one? I was like, not while we're in this house, which we just went back to that. We might be in this house for a while. But I was like, "Ah, I just really love a little girl. Like next. Between Elsie being home the past couple days and then my friend Molly's baby CB came over the other night. I'm just like, I thought boys had a lot of energy.
Oh yeah, no, girls are not chill.
I don't know. Maybe I don't need another kid.
No, first of all, yes, you need another kid. Second
If
of
you
all,
want one.
yeah, do it on your time. But if you want a little girl, you know the trick. You go find the Chinese calendar and figure out when you got to start that process.
What? What are you
Um,
talking about?
okay, there's a whole giant calendar. It's the Chinese calendar, and you find like the year that you are when you conceive and the month that you conceive in, and it tells you if you're gonna have a boy and a girl. I didn't know this until after I had Lila, but I went back and looked and it was right. So then I was like, I wanted a boy the second go round because I knew we weren't gonna have any more kids. So I literally did it and was just like, okay, we have to wait until whatever month it was, and boom.
Huh. I mean, I don't disagree. I think this is funny because my parents apparently have some, I don't want to hear it from my parents. Someone else can tell me of how to conceive boys versus girls because they had me and then they had two boys who were both born, like my mom planned both of them. They're born in April because after having me in August, she was like, I will never be pregnant in the summer ever again. So they were definitely planned where I was just more like, then there's my little sister who's only 15 months younger than my little brother, who obviously surprise and was born in October. I don't know, there's something to it. And then my cousins who had two girls, I guess they told them the secret, and then they had twin little boys. And so now everyone believes that my parents know how to conceive boys versus girls.
You
And I'm
may
like,
just need to have a bottle of wine and ask him one night.
Oh,
how do I
oh.
get a girl? I want to know
Okay.
all a Chinese calendar, positions, time of day. I need it all. Tell me all the things.
I'm only going to offer you the Chinese calendar. Other than that, it's your mechanisms.
Oh,
I have no tricks. I have no idea. I did not have a clue what I was doing.
You
I
do
mean,
have a pretty good trick because both your kids have the same birthday. And
Yes,
when
they
does
do.
that happen?
don't know.
you have a very
Only
normal
some-
cycle. Is
Yeah,
what that tells
apparently.
me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. All I know is and Ava wasn't due for 2 weeks. She was just like, haha, I'm gonna ruin his birthday.
I love that. Every time I see her, I just see it in my head is playing, what are you going to do? Take my birthday away? I just did.
Yeah, just did. Took it straight from you.
Now that they're getting older, do you celebrate their birthdays together or do they both get to have their own?
So
thing?
what we've been doing is like we celebrate them together and separately so that like it's like, and I've learned that because of the number of kids involved, it's just easier to like host it somewhere else. So like we have a local museum, or like we went to the skating rink, and like so I just booked 2 birthday parties instead of just 1 birthday party. And so like and then I just have them concurrently and the tables next to each other, and so they get to each invite their friends, but I'm only having to be responsible for one party. Like they have to decide together where we're going and what we're going to do.
That's
Okay.
kind of what we do with ours. Ours are only, their birthdays are a month apart. And I originally had tried to do 2 separate parties when they were little, but like one, I think there was a case of the flu that canceled the first party. So I was like, well, I'll just have it with this other one. And then after that, I was like, will not do it any other way. And I've even had it where like I literally divided my dining room in half. And like he had his own cake and his decorations, and she had her cake and her decorations. Even the invitation was like split in half. It was like Elsa fighting Woody or something. I don't know. So far, they're okay with it. I know that's not going to happen forever, and we'll have to actually have separate parties, but I'm riding that train as long as I can.
There's a lady in town who sits on the Education Foundation. I'm pretty sure she has 5 or 6 kids, and I think 4 of them 4 of them have the same birthday.
How is that
Mhm.
possible?
Like they're all different years, but 4 of them. Very, very regular cycles.
Very regimented. Okay, did anybody have anything really random that they Googled this week?
I did Google some weird stuff. This not weird. I listened to a podcast. Y'all know who Kat Von D is, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So listen to a podcast that she's on. Did you know that she was recently baptized into like the Christian church?
No.
I
And
think
bought a
so. I think I saw that.
yeah, bought a house in Indiana, is like giving up LA life, is covering up like a lot of her tattoos because they're like representative of her old life.
And she's like a gardener now, like hardcore gardener, right?
Yeah, 10,000
Huh.
tulips in front of her house.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
Nothing
know,
if not
it was just
hardcore in whatever she does.
surprised. Like she's still keeping her very much her goth aesthetic, which has made, of course, Christians online furious. They're like, she's a demon. She's like, I just because I dress this way doesn't make me. And so it was very interesting to just listen to her. I didn't realize she came from her, like she grew up in South America somewhere. Her father was a doctor and missionary. That's like
Oh,
that's how she grew up. Yeah. So I ended up spending a lot of time Googling facts about Kat Von D and her little family. Also, so I'm not drinking. I don't know if I've told you all this. I've not been drinking for like about a month. So I've been looking up like I don't have the energy to do mocktails. I'm a whiskey and Diet Coke girl. I wasn't making cocktails beforehand. Not
not
doing
gonna
it.
start today.
Yeah, no. Like all my friends are like, "Oh, if you're not gonna drink, you should do this." I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. But what I am doing is drinking these. They're called Dram, DRAM. I don't know why they call them beauty bubbles, but beauty bubbles, rose beauty bubbles. And it makes me feel like I'm drinking something when everybody else. So I put these over ice.
I just totally gave the old lady look, like, let me let me see you in that bit
Yeah.
Put that a
closer.
little closer to the screen.
Tell me what you're talking about.
So it's light and bubbly and refreshing with dreamy bilberry and rose petal flavor. So
That sounds delicious.
alcohol-free, vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO. Big fan. Big fan of those. Just repurchased. So
I have to give those a try.
those are 2 things I Googled this week.
I'm proud of you. I need a holiday detox. Like I've been eating nothing the last couple days because it's just like get it out of my system. And what do you guys think? My face is breaking out since I've been back from Arizona. I
Oh,
cannot figure it out because I
what it
wore
is.
makeup when I was there, so it's not my makeup.
Yeah.
I ate terrible, so it's really technically not my food.
Yeah.
I think I used about the same skincare, maybe a little bit less. I'm just not built for East Texas.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. It's
I
a
am
human.
built for Arizona.
My face clears up. I love going to like Scottsdale and Gilbert and all those places. That's where I've gone for a bunch of my birthdays. My face always clears up when there's not what I think the humidity here is still 80% today. Like
I'm
I'm
just
sure
not built for this. I am
yeah.
not built for this. Funny side note, speaking of like East Texans versus Westerners, so we went out to Arizona. We made the trip in one day.
Uh-huh.
18 hours with
No.
stops and
This is-
just pulling a trailer and doing all the things. By like hour 12, I was booking a hotel room for the way back. One day we went up to the Chiricahuas, which is like a national park, national monument, about 30 minutes from us. And they have a big loop that you can drive, and there's some lookout points and stuff like that. And I had just intended to drive it, but the kids were like, Mama, everybody's hiking. We want to go on a hike. Mama, can we go on a hike? Oh, my precious little Texans who
Yes.
grow up at like nearly sea level.
You
I
have no
just
idea
don't
what you're
know.
in for.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's a good idea to take you on a hike at nearly 7,000 feet. I
Mhm.
just, they were very insistent. So I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to give this a whirl. There's a little short little hike, half a mile in, half a mile out, takes you down to what they call the grottos. It's like a really cool kind of like all these rock formations, and it kind of makes these little caves, and it's really, really cool. So I was like, okay, we can do this. Grab your water bottles. Let's go. We were not prepared for a hike at all. But I was like,
But by golly,
grab
you
your
went.
water bottles and let's do this. So, and my little 6-year-old son, Tucker, he just leading the charge, gung ho, but on the way back, on the way out of there, he was just like, "Mama, I gotta rest. Mama, this is hard." And I'm like, tried to
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah.
But we made it out of there. I didn't even have to carry him out of there. We got out of the grottos, went and had a wonderful little picnic lunch, and they were just like,
Goodbye.
There you go. That's all you
goodbye.
needed to
Done.
pass out on the rest of the trip.
Yeah, they did. They were just,
Stop for a hike every time you think,
That's when
can't
we
do this
went.
anymore.
What birthday was that? Whatever birthday Brooke had in Colorado. It wasn't Steamboat, was it?
was it Breckenridge?
Breckenridge.
Breckenridge.
That was this kid who did grow up at sea level because the sea is across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got altitude sickness and I was like, this is stupid. Like, I haven't even had anything to drink and it feels like you can't breathe and you're hungover. I'd make it up one flight of stairs and I would just sit there, like catch my
Yeah.
breath and then like make it up. That is no joke. Like, they've said it's almost better if you drive in to places like that because
Yes.
and stay a night like halfway up and like let your body adjust and then go the next. Yeah.
So one time I learned that trick because when I used to like fly back and forth from Arizona to go see my parents, we would always go up to where my dad grew up, which was like 9,000 feet. And there was one time that they got me off the plane and we drove directly up. And I was sick as a dog. But after that, I would fly in and I would stay for like a day or so, and then we would go, and then it was fine.
That was a big reason my husband drove to Colorado for his elk hunt,
Mhm.
was to get the elevation slowly. Also down here, he's like walking with his like weighted vest and everything, and it's like 90 degrees. It gets to Colorado and it's like 0 and snowing and elk hunting. I'm like, that'd shock your system.
Yeah, that's a whole different ball game.
Something we did, I don't think we did it last time, maybe the time before, we were talking about if you've read or watched anything lately.
I did it last time. Did you have a new one?
Yes, I watched My Life with the Walter Boys on Netflix.
Oh.
So cute, so cheesy. Can't wait for the second season. Just gonna throw that out there.
I'll have to check that
It's
out.
kind of like The Summer I Turned Pretty. Like, it's definitely a little teeny bopper. Like, it was cute. It was so cute. I'm so glad I watched it. I told everyone to watch it and that it was cute.
One of my favorite movies is like the old school, like A Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger and
Oh yeah.
like Alan Tudyk and all. I mean, like it's before any of them were famous or anybody, anybody at all. Like, oh, that movie cracks me up every single time. Like it's so good. I'm never disappointed. It's one of the few ones that I went ahead and like bought on Apple TV so that I just have it. I don't have to worry about whether or not it's streaming. But then what else? There's a brand new season of Letterkenny back on. So
We've been watching Letterkenny. My husband loves Letterkenny. I came home and he was home for lunch and he was like watching an episode and I was like, now you're ahead of me.
that's cheating.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent. Like in my house, that's the equivalent of like, you've had an affair.
Well, I feel like
You went and watched something without me.
we didn't watch it at the same time. He had watched a season or two and then I caught up and then like we watched one season together and then this season came out and so I'm like, whatever, I think we're just on our own schedules. That's the only reason we have Hulu. And I was like, okay, we're finishing Letterkenny and we're canceling Hulu because we never log into Hulu ever.
Well, if you haven't seen Shoresy yet, go ahead and watch Shoresy first.
Oh, really?
Yes. So like it's pretty dang funny. It's because it's a spin-off. And yeah, it's pretty funny too.
Oh, you know what? I think we did watch Shoresy because that's his alternate personality, right?
Yes. My brother-in-law and I watched a lot of Star Wars while they were here. My kids are getting into Star Wars now. I'm like, we just nerded.
Hannah, are those your Christmas cards on your desk behind you in the minted box?
Yes.
I had so many friends that were like, well, my Christmas cards are still on the kitchen counter.
Mine made it out, I think. I can't.
Yeah,
got
I think
yours,
we got yours.
Like I think mine made it out of the house, but like it was a miracle from sweet baby Jesus that it did occur.
I haven't sent any in a long time. And then the ones I did send were just handwritten ones. Like I didn't even get pictures done.
Supposedly that's probably more like, personable to handwrite a note. So
Well, I love getting Christmas cards though. I put them up all over the wall. They're down now, but I love getting them. And so I don't know why I don't send them, since I like, if anyone's ever like, oh, do you want a Christmas card? I'm always like, yep,
Yes,
here's
please.
my
Sign me up.
address. Have I met you once? Sure. I still
Want
want your
that Christmas card.
I love Christmas cards. They can decide if I'm worth sending one too, but
Yeah.
Well, friends, we have talked for a long time, and I got to
Yeah.
try to get this thing edited because we need to send it out here in a couple days. So who wants to do our little sign off?
What did we officially
I'd
decide?
say, yeah.
I don't know. What do you want to say? Say something like join us next time. I don't know.
Okay. Well, join us next time on Out of the Group Chat podcast. Right? Maybe is that what we're
If you
saying?
have any
So-
If you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can drop them at our website at Out of the Group podcast. Out of the Group.
Out of the group chat podcast
.org.
Guys, listen. You know, we have like the automatic. Brooke hooked me up to the form storage. And so I've been getting the emails about, you know, the spam one. It's like
Oh.
major SEO problems with your website. Do you need to market this? I'm like, no.
Not today.
You need to ask us questions.
Yes,
Gotcha.
ask us questions.
Yes.
Tell us funny stories. Give us your best recs or things that you want us to try.
And bleep right there.
And bleep. Hey, I did download an official bleep noise just for
Just for
Hannah Mo.
me.
I worked really hard this time, not saying.
I'm trying so hard. I'm like, I'm not going to put Mary to work going beep, 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 Morse code.
I almost said something earlier, and then I was like, dummies. Like, it's
Yes.
what I said.
Those. Yes, those.
Look at us working on our
Look at
frown
adults.
lines and our potty mouths.
Yeah, that's right. And on that note,
One thing at a time. One thing at a time.
All
right.
right. Love you, girls.
Bye.
bye.
See you later.
Oh, mine aren't that
And
bad.
it's like, you take it.
No.
Out of the Group podcast. Out of the Group.
Out of the group chat podcast
.org.
And I'm going to edit out the fact that you just said her name.
Worked with
Tuberculosis.
tuberculosis patients. Like,
Goodbye, you adorable, adorable monsters.